Tyler Hadley had been telling his friends all week long that he was going to be having a party. But none of his friends actually believed him because he'd never thrown a party before, and it was kind of impossible to believe that his parents would actually allow this, considering they had literally just grounded him and taken away his car. So when his friends asked him if the party was still on, Tyler just said, "I'm working on it." What Tyler goes on to do to his parents is absolutely despicable. The Tyler Hadley case raises numerous questions about the human psyche, the influence of social media, and the factors that can drive a seemingly ordinary teenager to commit such a heinous act, especially against the people who love him the most. Hello and welcome back to Crime, Mystery and Mayhem with Kate. If this is your first visit to my channel, hello, welcome. It is great to have you here. Here on my channel, I talk about true crime stories because I find them interesting and I am quite intrigued as to why some people do the horrible things that they do. Please remember to like this video and subscribe to my YouTube channel because it would really help me in my attempts to grow my channel. I cannot do this without you guys. Okay, so today, teenager. Yeah, we're talking about a teenager. I'm going to be talking about the case of Tyler Hadley, a 17-year-old kid who killed his own parents, the people who loved him the most in the world. So let's jump into today's case. So Tyler Hadley was born on February the 16th, 1994 in Port St. Lucie, Florida. By all accounts, he had a relatively normal upbringing. He attended high school, he had friends, and was by outward appearances an average kid. He was a normal teenager. You know, they're moody sometimes, but he was an average teenager. But beneath the surface, there was something dark and disgusting that was brewing inside of him. So at 1:15 p.m. on July the 16th, 2011, Tyler, who was 17, he posted a status on his Facebook page. So he said, "Party at my crib tonight, ... maybe." There was only one issue with this though. Tyler's parents, they were home, and also Tyler was grounded at the time because he drank and drove and he was doing drugs. There was no way in hell that his parents were about to let their teenage son throw a party, and some of his mates knew this. They're like, yeah, there's no way this is happening. He's not going to throw this party. They couldn't see it happening. Tyler was grounded. He was in trouble. It wasn't going to happen. So one of his friends asked if the party was actually happening, and Tyler said, "Don't know, man, I'm working on it." Yeah, so looking back now and knowing what happens, that text message, it just creeps me out. He's saying he's working on it. He's planning to kill his folks so that he can have this party. That's what's going on. And he's like, "I'm working on it." It's just so messed up. Tyler went quiet for a little bit, and then at 8:15 p.m. Tyler posted again on his Facebook page, and it said, "Party at my house." So when one of his mates asked, "What if your parents come home?" Tyler just said, "They won't, trust me." Yeah. Oh, yeah. So oh my god, that's freaking sick, because we know what he's done. It's because he literally just killed both of his parents and then went on Facebook and posted about this party. So he got the parents out of the way, now he can have the party. Their bodies were barely cold when he posted on Facebook. This sicko, he wanted to throw a party at the crime scene. Okay, so we're going to go back a tiny bit. Before he invited 60 people to his house for this party, Tyler killed both of his parents. Blake and Mary Jo Hadley, they were so worried about their son for a really long time. he, when he was little, he was a good kid, but when he hit like 12, he just started acting out, and they actually took him to a psychiatrist and they turned to a substance abuse program for help. They really were just trying to get him on track. They loved him. But sadly, nothing worked for this kid, and his parents were at their wits' end. They did not know what to do with their troubled son. So one night, Tyler drove home drunk, and his mum took his car away, and also his phone as punishment. It's actually, a slap on the wrist compared to what the courts would have dished out if he got caught by police that night instead of his parents. So when they took his car, he basically flipped his shit. He was pissed. This kid was enraged. He was hating on his parents really badly. He actually told his best mate Mike that he wanted to kill his parents. It's like, whoa, man, that's a bit of an over exaggeration, right? It's like, they just took your car. Get over it. I had my car taken off me for something I did when I was younger, and I was just like, okay. I wasn't thinking, oh, I'm going to kill my dad for taking my car. That's just stupid. All because they took his car and his phone. Is he serious? If I had have driven home drunk when I was a kid, my dad would have marched my ass down to the police station. This kid, he got off lightly in my opinion, but yet he still felt so hard done by and angry that he wanted to take his parents' lives. The people who gave him life, who put a roof over his head, who put food in his tummy, who gave him everything he needed, who put up with his bullshit and still loved him anyway. Those people, yeah. Tyler's mates just kind of brushed off his comments about wanting to kill his parents. They just thought that he was venting and, just being a teenager, speaking out of context, basically. I mean, kids say things, right, that it can be seen as just grumpy teen talk. But this kid, it wasn't just talk. This kid was serious. He wanted to take his parents' lives. I guess he thought it would make his life easier. It won't, because your parents, you need them. Anyway, on July the 16th, Tyler made a plan. First, he took his parents' phones. That way they couldn't reach for their phones to call for help when he starts attacking them. Then he took some ecstasy at around 5 p.m. because he didn't want to chicken out if he was sober, so he needed something to, make him go through with his plan. Tyler then went looking for a weapon to carry out this sick crime, and he found a hammer in the garage. So his mum was sitting by her computer, and Tyler was kind of just looking at her, at the back of her head for like 5 minutes, just staring at her, contemplating, is he actually going to do this? Then he walks up to his mum, and he swings the hammer. She had no idea that her life was in danger. This was her son, her baby boy. Sure, he had issues, but she never thought in a million years that her own child would do this to her. Tyler hit his mum so hard in the back of her head with this hammer. She turned around. She was terrified. She was in pain. She was screaming, and she just said to her son, why? The screaming alerted Blake, Tyler's dad, and he ran into the room. What had happened to his wife? What was going on? Why would she scream like that? He needed to protect her. Blake then saw his son. He was standing over his mum's dead body. He had this hammer in his hand. Blake knew exactly what had happened, and he asked his son, why? That's when Tyler yelled back at his dad, why the F-U-C-K not? That's when Tyler lunged at his father, and he beat his dad to death. He had successfully done what he set out to do. He killed his parents. So after he did this, Tyler Hadley dragged their bodies into their bedroom, and then he cleaned up the mess, all the blood, chucked the rags on his parents, just cleaned it all up. Then this little shit messaged all of his friends, and he invited them over for a party that he so eagerly wanted. By midnight, more than 60 people had shown up to his house. None of them knew that there were dead parents in this residence. They were literally in the other room. That is just so messed up. He had his friends over while his parents were deceased in the next room. It's just so messed up on so many levels. The teenagers, they played beer pong in the kitchen. They were rubbing cigarette butts on the walls, like gross. They even urinated on the neighbor's lawn. That is just so gross and so freaking disrespectful. I don't understand why people need to behave like that. Apparently at first Tyler was, wanting his friends not to smoke in the house, but eventually he just gave up and allowed it. I mean, his parents weren't going to tell him off, right? So Tyler was telling the other kids that his parents were away. He would say that they were in Orlando, but then he changed his story. It was like the more drunk he got, the more his story changed. And he said that his parents don't actually live there and that it was his house. Later on in that night, Tyler pulled aside his best mate Mike, and he said to him straight blank, "I killed my parents." Mike didn't believe him. He's like, "No, you didn't. Shut up. What are you talking about?" And Tyler said to him, "No, they're dead. Look at the driveway. Their cars are in the driveway. If my parents were in Orlando, their cars wouldn't be there, right? I killed my parents." So Mike, he thought it was a prank. He thought it was a sick joke. He thought his mate was just being a dickhead. He was drunk, whatever, that kind of thing. But that's when Tyler said to his mate, "Come with me." And he took him to his parents' bedroom where he had stashed their bodies. So Mike went in, he looked down, and he saw Blake's leg against the door. That's when he suddenly realized his friend was telling the truth. Mike was in shock. He felt sick. What the hell is going on? This isn't normal behavior. What? The boys then took a selfie. Yeah, figuring it would be the last time that he would see his friend. Then Mike got the hell out of there. He left. He was gone. He left the party and he called Crime Stoppers. So he rings up Crime Stoppers and he left an anonymous tip. He said that his friend had killed his parents. This was at 4:24 a.m. on July the 17th, 2011. He said that Tyler Hadley had killed both of his parents using a hammer. So the next thing they know, the police are at the house. They rushed to the Hadley house. And when they arrived, the party was still going on into the wee hours of the morning. Tyler went up to the police and told them that his parents were out of town and he wouldn't let them in. He was like, "No, you can't come in. My parents are not here, blah, 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 blah." But they got this tip. They had to go in. So they made an emergency entrance. The police had reason to believe that there were 2 dead people in this house. So they pushed their way in. They needed to check the place out. Are there people in here? Are they hurt? They were told that someone killed their parents. So Tyler was nervous, he was frantic, and he was super talkative whilst he was talking to the cops. He wouldn't shut up. The police, they found the beer bottles all over the house. There were unrolled cigars littered all over the floor, and the furniture had been chucked everywhere. These kids, they trashed the place. Kids suck, man. Not all kids, but these ones, come on. Mainly Tyler. They also found that there was dry blood on the walls. So Tyler didn't exactly do a great job of cleaning. When police forced open Tyler's parents' bedroom door, they found dining chairs and a coffee table that were tossed on the bed. And under the furniture were Blake Hadley and Mary Jo's bodies. This wasn't a prank. This was real. These innocent people had been killed by their own flesh and blood, their son. So the police arrested Tyler immediately, and he was arrested for the murder of his parents. 3 years would go by, and a court sentenced Tyler Hadley to life in prison. If the police had not shown up when they did, Tyler actually was considering to take his own life. So he had a stash of pills that were hidden in his room. Yeah. But his friend did the right thing, and he knew to contact authorities immediately. His friend did the right thing. He went and got help. Some may not have. Tyler had his resentence hearing in 2018, so 7 years after he brutally killed his parents. In court, he was chained at the hands and feet, and he just like, with a blank stare, was just staring right ahead while the judge was talking to him. He showed no emotion, and they told him that he'd be serving life in prison, and he had no emotion. He didn't care. He seemed to not have a soul. He just didn't care. This guy did not give a damn that he had killed the people who cared for him the most in this entire world. So this is the second time that he'd been sentenced to life in prison. The first time was in 2014. He pleaded no contest on 2 counts of first-degree murder with a weapon, but that punishment was actually overturned on appeal. The judge ordered the new life terms to be served at the same time. So he's going away for a very, very long time. I feel like a life for a life, not necessarily a death sentence, but like if you take a life, you should be in jail until your life is done. That's just how I feel, but they seem to get like paroled and stuff. So by law, the sentence automatically will be reviewed after 25 years. The judge read aloud his sentencing order that listed in gruesome detail the homicides and how he plotted for months before he actually killed his parents. So he was planning this for a long time. The judge rejected all of the defense arguments that were raised during Tyler's October hearing, that his age, immaturity, or troubled youth marked by anxiety, depression, and drug use influenced his decision to actually kill his parents. So while casually talking to his friends about killing his parents a month and a half before the actual crimes, he revealed that he would wait until his brother had moved to North Carolina. So he sat back and waited for his moment, and he did exactly what he set out to do. And for what? Because his parents grounded him and took his car? Raising kids, man, it is never easy. I have a teenager. She's 17. Same age as this guy was when he did this. It's hard. It's hard, but, well, I hope my daughter wouldn't do this to me. My goodness. But yeah, that's just horrible. There's just some things in life that you can't possibly prepare yourself for. Kids. Well, yeah, you do plan it, but then they turn into this. For Tyler's parents, nothing in the world could have prepared them for what their youngest son Tyler would do to them. It was horrible. Mary Jo was actually an elementary school teacher, and she was loved and respected by everyone. Her community adored her. There wasn't a single negative thing to be said about her by anyone. Everyone loved her. Blake was a watch engineer at the St. Lucie power plant, where he had worked for almost 30 years. He loved his job and he was really good at it. These poor parents, they had no idea that their son would do this. I don't think anyone really would, right? You wouldn't think that your own child would rock up on you and just hit you with a hammer until you're dead. And from what I've read, it's because they took his car and his phone. Is that really the only reason? Is he just so messed up that anything would make him angry? I know that, like, this is going a little bit off track, but if I say something to my 17-year-old, like anything, even if I just look her way, she gets like grumpy, depending on the day. Sometimes she's all good. But I know that, you know, teenagers can be grumpy at times, but this? Really? Maybe don't drink and drive and lose your car? These people would have supported him his entire life. They would have loved him, looked after him. And he bit the hand that fed him, basically. I always say that to my kids. I'm like, don't bite the hand that feeds you. Because, you know, they need me. Without me, where would they be? We need our parents. I still need my mum. I'm 36. I still need my mum. Yeah. Anyway, it's such a sad story about two parents who They loved their child and they wanted the best for him, and they were trying hard, and he's horrible. Are people born like this? I don't know. I think some might be born to kill, but I think some, like, you know, maybe he had like extreme depression and whatnot. I don't know why, because from what neighbors said, they said that Tyler and his mum actually had a really close bond. Like, they would see them, like they loved each other and whatnot. So he changed over time. He got more and more agitated and aggressive towards the people that love him. I have noticed, like, with my own child, who's 17, like I said, she treats her friends like they're the best thing in the world, like golden. But she treats her family and me like crap. Not all the time, sometimes. And then I read that it's because they feel more comfortable expressing their feelings and whatnot with the people that are closest to them. So basically, your parents become the boxing bag. I didn't sign up for that. But yeah, no, she's having a good day today. So hopefully when she comes home from school later, she'll still be happy. Sometimes it's like walking on thin ice with that one. But yeah, anyway, that is today's story. These poor parents. Man, it can be hard raising teenagers, especially teenagers who have issues. My daughter's epileptic and she's got Tourette's and anxiety, so we deal with quite a bit here. But I'm pretty sure she wouldn't crack me in the head with a hammer. She might. No, I hope not. She better not. I'll be pretty annoyed. I'll haunt her. Anyway, that's me. I hope everybody is having a wonderful morning, day, night, whatever it is where you are. And I will be talking to you later. Please be nice to your parents. Be nice to your parents. Unless your parents are real shit people who don't deserve it. But, you know, be nice to your parents. They just love you. They only get grumpy and full on because they love you. Now I realize that. Now that I have my own. But when I was a teenager, I was like, you guys suck and you're ruining my life and blah, 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 blah. But now I see, like, they're just trying to protect me. But yeah, I'm going to go now. Have a great day, guys. Bye.